Ten Hag reportedly lost his temper at Manchester United players after the defeat to Brighton and the individual errors, and also after the defeat to Liverpool, urging them to be better at keeping possession, to be more aggressive. Matthijs de Ligt gets hooked at half-time in international game for the Netherlands, and now loads of media reports are going in on Matthijs de Ligt, and I have to say, you join Manchester United, the media go in on you. Ignore those reports on Matthijs de Ligt. It's an international game. Rabiot to United, it's still being spoken about, and there's a possibility United could do the deal. And there's a few other targets United have been linked to in the free agent market. But guys, first of all, please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. I'm literally on this second 92,699 subscribers, so I'm one away from 92.7k. But let's get into the news, let's get into the stories, and before I get into the transfer news, the Ligt news, the Ten Hag news, I want to do a review of the international break. It is now over, finally. As much as United haven't been the most enjoyable to watch this Liverpool game or so, I don't think we actually played bad versus Brighton. I don't like the international break, especially when you're 3 games into the season and you get an international break. It is boring, especially when players like Bruno Fernandes get 180 minutes so they don't even get a rest. I find the international break incredibly boring, so I'm glad it's over. And it went quite well for the United players. Bruno Fernandes got a goal and assist and created 7 chances, was unbelievable in both matches for Portugal. Xerxes played a game for the Netherlands, got 1 goal, 1 assist, created 4 chances, had an unbelievable game. James Scanlon, who's only 17 years of age, got 1 goal, created 1 chance, 5 recoveries and 9 duels won, but they could only find his data for one game. Diogo Dalot played 104 minutes, got a goal, created 3 chances, and 6 passes into the final third, 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, played very well. Garnacho only got 11 minutes, but he did get an assist and also just helped out defensively, did a good job. Amad Diallo with 99 minutes played, 5 chances created, 4 shots, 2 dribbles, and 5 passes into the final third, creating things and making things happen. Kobbie Mainoo had a very good, solid 90 for England, despite people trying to make out he played bad, because, people have a Kobbie Mainoo agenda. Very solid game there. Martinez, clean sheet, had a very good game again for Argentina. He's looked really good at Argentina with Romero, but for some reason I don't think he started his best at United. Anana done well, actually. He made loads of saves, clean sheet, had a really good game. Ashrawi done well as well. 1 chance created, 4 out of 4 tackles won. Good 90 minutes for him. Eriksen's always great on international break. I think he's still a good player, Eriksen. I just don't think he works in the intensity of the Premier League. Ugarte, and this is a more interesting one for me, 169 minutes played. Ten Hag said it could take months. He's played 169 minutes. He had 2 clean sheets in those games. He created a chance. He had 4 dribbles. He won 4 tackles, 12 recoveries, 4 clearances, 4 interceptions, and 20 duels won. 20 duels won in just under 2 games. Maguire also got a clean sheet and stuff. England played well, and de Ligt, look, didn't have the best time. 135 minutes, 7 duels won, 11 passes into final third, 8 recoveries, 1 interception, 2 clearances, 2 blocks, 1 tackle, 1. But he still had some solid moments in his game. But interestingly, I want to talk about Ugarte. 90 minutes, 4 tackles, 8 duels won, 3 interceptions, 1 clearance, 3 out of 3 successful dribbles, 83% pass accuracy. Ugarte has been playing a lot of minutes, and for Ten Hag to say he might not be ready for months is a joke. If he doesn't start versus Southampton, that will be Ten Hag thinking he's not 100% ready. But if he doesn't start versus Barnsley on Tuesday, that's a joke. Because if you're going to start him, I can understand maybe you're not wanting to take the risk versus Southampton. I'd start Ugarte versus Southampton. But if you don't start him versus Barnsley on Tuesday, oh my days, there will be an eruption. And talking of eruption, let's go on about what Ten Hag has said to the United Stars post the opening games of the season. Ten Hag wants United to have more possession, telling his players they need to protect the ball better to control games. Ten Hag has been drumming into his players to be more positionally aware, a problem that resurfaced at Brighton when João Pedro was left unmarked at the far post to head in a 95th minute winner. The United manager has been showing the squad videos to highlight the importance of good positioning in and cutting out silly mistakes and unnecessary goals. It was then said that Erik Ten Hag is urging his players to be nastier and more aggressive from the front to avoid conceding more soft goals. And Ten Hag made his feelings clear to the Manchester United players after the losses to Brighton and Liverpool, criticising them for individual errors. So let's talk about this, because in the Brighton game, I think Ten Hag got his subs wrong. But I do think that Ten Hag coached to win. I think we could have been 2-0 up at halftime versus Brighton, and we found ourselves 1-0 down against the run of play. We missed big chances. I think, the Fulham game, we could have won 2-0. I think we could have beat Manchester City in the Community Shield. We missed big chances. So I get the first 3 games of the season. I actually think the Ten Hag coach wins. If you look at the Community Shield, you look at the Fulham game, you look at the Brighton game. But you know what? Us switching off at the back, that I think that was on the players' elements of the Brighton game. I think Brighton was on the players because Ten Hag's not going to coach the players to leave João Pedro unmarked at the back post there. that is awareness of the players. Now, diving into the Liverpool game, I think while Casemiro made mistakes and while Maino made mistakes, I still think element of that game was Ten Hag's fault, because when we made the mistakes, there was no one there to cover for that midfielder, and that the defence was completely exposed. And I felt that Liverpool tactically knew that we were going to have Casemiro to drop deep to help him build up, and they could cut out our midfield passing lanes because of the space that we leave. I think that Liverpool outdid us tactically. Now, Ten Hag is obviously not happy with the players, especially what happened at Brighton, leaving the players unmarked, the individual errors versus Liverpool. And he's urged his team, you need to keep the ball better, you need to be more aggressive and all of that. And I think, yeah, I think he has a point. We cannot be switching off like that. We switched off way too much, leaving players at the back post. We seem to concede more 90th minute equalisers or losing goals than any other side. It's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. And I think elements of it is on Ten Hag, and he's got to change his tactics and he's got to adapt. But I like that he's going in on the United players. I like that he's urging them. You need to be more aggressive. You need to stop conceding these soft goals. You need to stop making these mistakes. But we also need to coach some of this out of the players. I think, for me, some people will make out our start of the season as atrocious. Some people will look at it in a positive front. I think we could have won versus Brighton. I think it wasn't for individual errors, and if we could stay on side, I do think Ten Hag coached to win versus Brighton. But I thought Liverpool was such a disgrace. And look, Ten Hag is not happy with the Manchester United players. He's gone in on the United players, and I think he needed to do that, because I think, the question is, he's got to, show that it's not good enough. In his press conferences, he would defend them, and I like that he defends them publicly. But in private, I hope that he does point out the errors and he does point out the mistakes we're making. But I also hope that he doesn't just point out the players' mistakes and blame the players, but he looks at his own mistakes and where he can improve, because we've got to improve. We've got to change something about the system if we want to have a good season. We've got Southampton next. Now, going into other news, Matthijs de Ligt did not have the best game for the Netherlands. And as you can see, there's about 1,000 reports about de Ligt, people going on and on and on and on. And I say, you know what? Ignore it. Ignore it. You know what? He plays for Manchester United. He makes a mistake in the international break, and they want to now make the most out of it. If he was still at Bayern Munich, do you think the Daily Mail, the Sun, and the Mirror, and the Express, and Sport Bible would still be doing this? No. I bet you 70% of the reports that have come out today on Matthijs de Ligt making a mistake would not have happened if he was still at Bayern Munich and not at Manchester United. I guarantee you that now. He's at Manchester United. He made a mistake. This is how we get clicks. Negativity, Manchester United, that is how we get clicks. That is how we get, United fans to interact and be annoyed at us. That's how we get attention. Shitting on Manchester United players. It is what the media does. Let's support de Ligt. Let's get behind de Ligt. He didn't have the best international break, but you know what? We're here to support our players and get behind him. I believe that he will be a good addition for United. I believe he'll be a good signing for United. Xerxes had a phenomenal international break, which is good to see. De Ligt didn't have the best, but all we can do as fans is get behind our players, not shite on them for errors and stuff, and hope for the best. There's a reason why nearly 80,000 Bayern Munich fans signed a petition for de Ligt to stay. He's not a bad player. The media is now going to make out he's a bad player, like they always do if United sign a player. But there's a reason why Bayern Munich fans didn't want him to go. Talking of other news, talking of other additions that could happen and players that could be Manchester United bound, the Muppeteers said that United only want to take Rabiot on a short-term affordable deal. There has been conversations between Manchester United's entourage and Rabiot, but it looks like nothing is going to happen. I think Man United is sort of like Rabiot as a player, but a bit concerned about his wages and his demands. And unless he wants to come in on low wages and it's a short-term deal, they have no interest in doing that. So I think, if I'm going to be totally honest, Rabiot is probably using Manchester United to get a better deal elsewhere or something like that. I think he wants United, but I don't think he'll lower his wages. And I don't think United are really looking at any of the free agents. Another free agent we were linked to was Yusuf Yatsi. But again, I don't think United are really looking at any free agents in the market. I think Man United sort of said, we want to bring in the right players, not players for the sake of it, not players for the sake of numbers. And I think because we didn't get anyone else after Ugarte in the summer, despite selling Sancho and McTominay, I think Man United know that if they need a left back in the summer, if they need a left back in January, they could go for Robinson. If they need another midfielder in January, there could be 30 million there. If they think they need another winger in January, there could be 30 million there. For me, I think the way United see it is, if there's probably 30 million left in January to spend on either a left back, a midfielder, or a winger, depending on more. But yeah, guys, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I also want to give a shout out to Angel Gomes. A very good game for England. Great to see him doing well and getting his chance at England. And a lot of people were talking, should we bring back Angel Gomes? And I think with him being an academy product, it's always something that you'd like to see. But big up everybody in the chat. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.